Ah, yes, here we are once again. You may be able to hear in the background the sirens heralding the arrival of the High Noon Hemp Show. Of course, that means it is Wednesday at noon Eastern Time. The sirens mean it's the first Wednesday at noon. Of course, every Wednesday at noon is always time for the High Noon Hemp Show. And as you can see right there is a very special day because tomorrow is officially the sixth anniversary of the High Noon Hemp Show. It was September 5th, 2018, when the first episode debuted, premiered, and here we are 6 years later. Unfortunately, because that means that the job isn't done. But fortunately, we get to do the show every week for you all. So it's not all bad. I'm, of course, Stoner Jesus. I do various things on the interwebs. You can search if you feel like it. He is Beach, and he seems to be, if I'm guessing correctly, high above the Ohio River on the USS Temptations. Beach, how are things this week, this anniversary week in the world of Temptations?
That's true. It's true. I am high above the Ohio River for this episode of the High Noon Hemp Show. Um, for the record, yeah, we just celebrated our 29th anniversary on the 1st, which was Sunday, 29. Hey, um, 29th anniversary in the stores, and 6 years just doing this show alone. I just it's just amazing. It's just amazing.
That's crazy.
It's amazing how far we've gone, but it's amazing how far we still have to go with hemp in this country after 29 years of doing this. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Remember, everybody, the FDA has not evaluated this show for safety or efficacy. And with that, let's all put our hands to our hemp hearts and read the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the hemp fields of America and to the soil in which it is planted, one seed under the sun, with responsibility, sustainability, and thrivability for all.
Indeed.
That's the goal, folks. That's the goal with the good old hemp. It's true.
Oh,
Anniversary. Whoops, glitch. Anniversary alarms are going off.
that's right.
Because we are the High Noon Hemp Show, and it's Wednesday. It's noon. Where else would you be? Where else would I be?
That's right.
I don't know. I would be confused if I wasn't here talking about hemp. All right, well, let's just jump right into the show with the product spotlight. 4 from the store, 1 from my door. The first ones are some good old classic skunk hemp papers. One of the older, I should say, hemp paper brands out there. They don't get much credit. They kind of get pushed aside by the big hemp brand. But skunk papers they're still popular, and they're still good hemp papers. So if you got yourself some legal industrial hemp cannabis that you need to roll up, come on in, get yourself some skunk papers and give them a try. Perhaps you'd prefer to use a glass pipe for your industrial hemp. Oh, looks like I put that one on the side there. I guess it still works. But these are the Swine Army. This one's called the Quick Draw. So you got a spot over there for your pipe, and these are made out of hemp, just so you know. And then there's a spot on the other side for your lighter. So you can put your lighter in there, and you don't ever have to take your oney or your lighter out of the pouch to use it the way these are designed. Again, these are made by the Swine Army. I believe they're down in the Asheville area, North Carolina. Hopefully, the Swine Army is still around. So come on in, check those out if you're looking for a new little carrying unit for your pipe and lighter. The next one here, you've seen in almost every episode of the High Noon Hemp Show, and you're going to see in a minute as we ask, what are you wearing, Beach? But these are just a couple in the store. So the one on the left, the one that has the Hemptations logo on it, that is actually a injection molded hemp pen. And the one on the right, which is a lighter color, that is actually a 3D printed pen. Again, these come from Green Springs Technology. I do believe they still have the hemp pens available on their website. Mark Linde, who passed away a couple years ago, was the Green Springs technology guy. He's messed in the industry for sure. even now, with what he was doing and the movement that Greenspring Technology was moving towards hemp composites for all kinds of neat stuff, one way or another. So, if you need a new pen, or maybe you like to give a pen as a gift to someone, how much cooler can a gift of a hemp pen be to someone? I mean, how rare are these? Pretty rare. Again, if you're talking about a pretty rare pen that you would want to give someone, they are quite rare. And the last one is the Hempy Scoop Shovel. We're not quite getting to the weather where we may need this, but if you need a scoop shovel for anything that you do, how about a hemp plastic one? Hemp composite, I should say. The handle and the head are made out of hemp composite. Again, this is a product that basically, when you're done with it, even with the wood handle, it's pretty much biodegradable. So if you got to a point where you couldn't use it anymore, it wasn't utilizing itself, then you just dig a hole with what's left of it and then throw it in the hole. I don't know what you'll use to cover it up with, because your shovel will be in the hole, but it will in fact break down, go back to nature, and do great things for the planet in a big circle. That's what hemp does in a big circle. Great things for the planet. All right, well, there's 4 from the store. Now the one from my door, once again, is kind of a multiple one. This is the little container of Mary Hempster's balms that I carry around with me in my backpack everywhere that I pretty much go. I'm showing this today because I am actually using these currently, the CBD and the hot muscle and the cool muscle, because my back is flaring up. Every once in a while, my back issues flare up. Now, I don't have chronic pain. I have temporary pain that happens from an old four-wheeler accident. Hello. Tell me where you're from. I'm always interested. If someone wants to say hi, tell me where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from there.
Right.
And so one is the CBD, and then the others are just regular balms with hemp oil, but they still work unbelievably well. Again, it's a little bit of pain. It's not huge back pain. I don't want to complain too much, because people have back pain a lot worse than my back pain. And my back pain just flares up, and then I just kind of have to work it, use the CBD, and it really does help get it back to the where it was. And again, I carry these all the time. We got a cut and scrape in case I need it. You got a couple different muscle balms. You got an arnica based, and then the CBD based as well. So it's just about good for just about any kind of incidents that I might have when I'm out and about, or I'm home, because I always have my backpack with me. I've been talking about I showed my backpack on one from my door not too long ago, and these are just more hemp products that I carry in my backpack with me everywhere I go, almost all of the time. So we do have the balms. We do have some of these balms in the store currently, if you're looking for something like that, and they're really reasonable priced. The CBD one was maybe a little bit more, but other than that, they're pretty, especially for what they do, because our customers have found, and I personally can attest to getting the relief that I'm looking for out of these balms. Again, these are Mary Hempster's. They're no longer making their lip balm, but I do believe they are continuing to make their muscle and whatnot balm. So you can probably go to their website, Mary Hempster's, and check them out. Get some of that stuff if you need it. If you're not in the high state area and you can't get into Hemptations,
That's right.
Do that. All right, there you have it on the product spotlight. 4 from the store, 1 from my door, here on the High Noon Hemp Show.
Which, of course, brings us to the best segment in internet history. And look, I don't want to disparage the people with the Guinness World Records. I know we're trying to curry their favor and trying to get the word about hemp and these hemp records that Beach has set and that Beach owns out to the world. But really, they continue to give me utter silence while they promote these really dumb records. Like the other night on my show, there was one, this guy has like 6,200 cell phones. He has walls and walls in his house of like old Nokias, just all different models of cell phones. And that's impressive, I guess. But really, if we look at it logically, hasn't this guy entirely wasted his life collecting old cell phones, old little bits of plastic? They're going to be here 1,000 years from now. What Beach is doing is really impressive. Not only that, it's good for the planet, it's good for everyone, and it gets no recognition while this moron who has rotating walls of cell phones in his house has a Guinness World Record. And really, really, it just makes me sick to my stomach. That's what I think of you, Guinness World Records. But please get into contact with us about Beach's Hemp Records so we get the recognition we deserve. Thank you. All of that is to say, this is where we chronicle every day, or every week rather, for 6 years, just how much clothing alone, hemp clothing alone, that Beach possesses. We do it in the Beachwear segment, and all I have to do, and all anyone ever has to do to get Beach talking about what he is wearing, is ask him one simple question: what are you wearing, Beach?
That's right. If you're curious, what are you wearing, Beach, to celebrate the beginning of the NFL season in our illustrious Cincinnati Bengals?
Bam.
Orange and black. You know that's right. Up on the lid there, you got the good old Hemptations hat in orange and black. My shirt, I believe, is an Ono, if I remember correctly. I don't remember where I got my orange T-shirts from, but I believe they were Ono. Pretty sure. Out there at Enviro Textiles, again, with the Hemptations University logo on it, printed here at the Planet Everywhere Manufacturing Center. My shorts are another pair of Prana shorts. It probably might be one of my favorite pair of Prana shorts because they kind of have a elastic tie waist to them, which I messed that picture up a little bit because you can't actually see it. Then underneath it all, I've got on a pair of don't forget that Green Springs Technology pen right there in the pocket. I almost did because it was blended in so well. But again, always with me in my pocket. If I have a pocket, I'm carrying my pen with me, or one of my Green Spring Technology pens, which I also have on my backpack. Underneath it all, wearing a pair of I Love Bad boxer briefs. Right beside those in the picture there, you can see the Hemp Traders no-show socks. And get me where I need to go when I need to get there are a pair of Vans hemp shoes. These might be my only pair of Vans, actually, hemp shoes. But there they are. So if you are curious, hey, Beach, this is probably what I may wear this or my other hemp Bengals shirt on Sunday. We'll see. But most more than likely, this is probably what I'll be wearing for Sunday's home opener. No, not a home opener. Okay, or I think we're actually in New England. But the opening of the NFL season for the Cincinnati Bengals, I like to call them the Hempkels, if I can, when I can. I think Hempkels is pretty good too, either way. So now you know. What are you wearing, Beach? Celebrating the start of the NFL season. I've been a huge Bengals fan since 1988. No, 1989 was actually the first Bengals game. I did not grow up in Cincinnati. In 1989 was the first Bengals game that I went to. We beat the Houston Oilers like 54-6 or 7 or something. It was crazy. And from there, no matter what kind of teams we've had, I have been a Bengals fan. What's really kind of funny is they were in the Super Bowl in '88. But I was down in Richmond, Kentucky. I really wasn't paying that much attention to NFL football at the time. But then I went to a game, and then I became a fan. And now I live in Cincinnati. And
I cried. I was 9 years old, and when Joe Montana hit John Taylor in the back of the end zone for that touchdown, I bawled my eyes out.
Yeah, I'm sure you and many other Bengals fans did not take that very well. Well, we're going to get us a Super Bowl win here in the next couple years. I'm going to lay some hemp money down on it. Make a little prediction for our Bengals. If we even keep the core group healthy and together, we're going to win another Super Bowl. We're going to win a Super Bowl. We've been twice. We're going to win one. Anyway, all right. There you have it on the High New Hemp
Or-
Show. What are you wearing, Beach? Now you know.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, let's get on with a little commercial here, and then we'll be back with the news.
Just learned that Hemptations has the largest selection of hemp goods on the planet. Reporting live on location, let's go to Kenny Biss. That's right, Ima. As you can see, Hemptations has great hemp goods, as well as e-juice, vapes, books, and much, much more, all from a store you've trusted for 20 years. Now back to the hemp studio for the forecast. We are expecting highs in the selection region of Hemptations and lows in the prices, with more hemp to come. Back to you, Ima. That's Hemp News, having Hemptations for 20 years.
Thank you very much.
Breaking news.
Here's the news. Things are good. Things are good. Thanks for asking. Again, shoot us where you. I'd love to see where everybody is from when they comment. If you can, take the time just to know. I know we're international. We've been South America, Germany, all kinds of places across the world. People watching this show. We appreciate that for sure. Getting the hemp knowledge where we can. So thanks everybody for watching. Guess I don't know. I might have one piece of bad news in the news, but most of it's pretty cool stuff this week, I will have to say. So Oregon State University, if you don't know, I've talked about them quite a bit. They have a hemp program that is just unbelievable. If you want to go to university and get involved with studying industrial hemp, Oregon State University is top of the list because they've done it again. This week they have released their results of their hemp trials, which is what they were doing was comparing different cultivars of hemp to each other to see which ones produce the most amount of biomass or whatnot. And so Polish hemp actually produced the best results for them. And this was against, there were some Chinese cultivars. There were some American cultivars, which are, pretty much brand spanking new after almost 100 years of not having our own original cultivars. We're now getting back to that. The Henola cultivar was best for grain. So if you want to grow for grain or food, look into Henola. I did not see, or I feel like the cultivar for the best one for fiber was like a really crazy name. I'll have to go check that out again and see. There are over 150 recognized industrial hemp cultivars across the planet. There are all the hemp, grown in Russia and China and Europe and all that are, some of them are different strains, some of them are not. And as America starts to, thank you, as we start to grow again, only been truly really legal now for about the last 6 years, we're also trying to figure out which cultivars can produce the best results for American farmers. And so again, Oregon State University has done a little bit of that, telling you that maybe you should source if you're doing grain or fiber, maybe you should source that from Polish cultivars. And so that's pretty neat. We're going to, more and more start figuring out, especially as our farmers start to grow for more grain and more fiber in this country, which ones do better at the different latitudes. Even what we grow in Minnesota for hemp, grain or fiber, is probably maybe going to be a different strain than what we're going to grow in Texas for hemp for grain or fiber. Once we start growing for more hemp and fiber, right now the industry is still kind of CBD strong, but we're definitely seeing an increase in demand for grain, food product, and fiber material product. And so we're going to continue to tweak and breed and come up with new cultivars that produce more biomass or taller plants. We want the tall plants. We want those for the fiber more than anything. We want a shorter plant, I think, more for the grain, because it doesn't have to be tall. It just has to have a big flower on it. I think what we have to do there, what we will do, we don't have to because it does great on its own from what we have right now, right off the shelf, basically, is again breed and developed so that maybe we come up with a bigger hemp seed, more biomass in the seed, when it comes to the grain. And then once again, for the fiber, we just want to continuously work on making that as tall of a plant as we can, because that fiber runs from the root to the top of the plant continuously. So what makes it the strongest natural fiber on the planet is it's the longest natural fiber on the planet. And so, we're developing. We've seen hemp traders working on fiber fields. I think they had a 24-foot plant was the tallest, which is probably could go into the Guinness Book of World Records too if they paid any attention to hemp whatsoever. I think we at least have a base for the start of the record. I like to say that I don't, we're not beating hemp records. We're making hemp records. The records that I hold, I'm just waiting for someone to win, to beat me. And right now I at one point wore a different hemp hat every day for 160 something days. I wore a different hemp shirt every day for 160 something days. I have the largest amount of hemp products of any individual on the planet. And I do believe that Hemptations has the largest selection of hemp anywhere else on the planet as well. And again, those records aren't out there. I hold them. I made them. I want anyone to challenge them. I want everyone to challenge them. If even 1% of the population could challenge my hemp shirt or hemp hat, just think of all that. The cotton that's not in the world anymore. The only good cotton is organic cotton, just so you know. I'm not against the cotton industry. I'm against the procedure from the herbicides to the pesticides to the water needed to make just even your average cotton t-shirt. Okay. I have nothing against cotton, the plant. I have everything to do with cotton, the farming industry.
Yeah.
And again, the only good cotton is organic cotton. And even then, even with organic cotton, it still takes an immense amount of water to process and make materials out of it. It's quite ridiculous, honestly. It would just be amazing if we just replaced like 90% of the cotton in the world with hemp. Stronger, we'd have a stronger product. No chemicals needed. We save on water. We can get 3 times as much hemp fiber out of a acre as we can cotton. And once again, the planet is just in so much of a better place, and we have a better product to use and wear and whatever you want to do with it. So, I would definitely, if you're interested in any information about hemp, I would look into see what Oregon State University has done as far as studies and growing, because they are. I don't have I've never nominated anybody for a High Noon Hemp Show award, but I feel like Oregon State University's hemp program might get a nomination if I ever did, because I do believe that they are wholeheartedly and positively encouraging all the forms in their hemp program. Grain, fiber. I don't even think they're studying like CBD. I don't think they care about that. Nobody cares. We don't need that. They don't need that. It's more studying the grain aspect or the fiber aspect of industrial hemp and the industrial products that we can make or do out of that. So, thank you, Oregon State University, for continuing to give me good stuff to talk about here on the High Noon Hemp Show. So we had some cat litter in the stores for a brief amount of time. We might even have a couple bags of cat litter, what we called cat litter. It's the herd, which is not a word. It's the shiv The same things that they use to make the hempcrete out of, that's what they use, or animal bedding, horse bedding, animal bedding, any of that. But Small Pet Select, a company, is making the most environmentally friendly cat litter on the market. It's dust free, and apparently hemp hurd, hemp shiv absorbs 5 times the amount that clay litter would. Um, and again, this is a compostable, biodegradable product. So, instead of just throwing your litter in the trash or whatnot, you could like literally just go and scatter it around the yard. It'll break down, one way or another, and you can dispose of your cat litter in a better environmental way. So this is once again a start to a product that no one's really messing with. It's huge. I mean, cat litter, I cannot even imagine how big the cat litter industry is. I don't know the environmental impact on cat litter. Again, if most of it is made out of clay, then they have to be sourcing that clay from somewhere, probably mining it. It probably has to be a particular type of clay in order for it to work right. Just like sand and concrete, clay and cat litter. And apparently, once again, hemp is 5 times more absorbent. And you don't have to mine for that or dredge out any rivers to find it. You just grow it. 4 or 5 months, you got a whole field of cat litter. It just needs to be processed, bagged up, and sent to the store for the most part. I don't know. Again, I know odor-free is a big thing with cat litter. I don't know what kind of odor hemp cat litter would have. Now, I would almost guess that if they really wanted to, they could probably spray that with some type of deodorant that would smell better when the cat goes on it. I say just leave it alone. Scoop it out, throw it out in the backyard, and go from there. That's about probably all you need to do to make that cat litter work for you. So again, that's Small Pet Select. I don't know if it's available to the public yet. I know they're just now talking about it. But if you have a cat and I say it once, I'll say it again. Whenever you're looking for a product that you need, see if it's made out of hemp. Go online, say, hey, I need cat litter this week. Do they make hemp cat litter? Google that. See what you can find. Maybe you can have some shipped to your door instead of having to go to the store and buy the old cat litter made out of clay, which once again, has to be sourced from somewhere. And it is not a renewable resource. That clay used, and that's not a renewable. Most of the time, people throw their cat litter away, so it goes to you throw it in a trash bag, and then you take it out to the dump. Now, I guess once it comes out of the trash bag, it's probably not as bad for the dump. It's natural. Maybe it would even absorb more odors. But the ironic part of that is most people throw that cat litter in a plastic garbage bag that's going to take who knows how many years to break down in the landfill, just so that cat litter can make itself come out, can come out and actually do more work in the dump. So, hemp cat litter. And again, we've had this before. It really is just you could probably buy a whole bale of hemp hurd, hemp shiv, and just put it in your, I'm sure that's all it really is. Just put that in your cat litter box. Once again, kind of scoop out what's either absorbed it or, clumped it or whatever. Go from there. More of that on the shelves. Yes, indeedy. Thank you very much. Geneve watches. I mean, this is a huge watch brand. Their newest line of watches come with the option of a hemp fiber watch band. So they have the typical stainless steel watch band, but here is, and I don't know, your color options. Here's a black one, which you can barely see. That they should have put this on like a light background so you can see a little better. But And here's the thing: we sell hemp watch bands that would work with this type of watch. So if you have a watch that has the watch bands that come off with the pins, okay, if it's attached with the pins, then you can use one of the Planet Everywhere Hemptations watch bands to use on any watch that has this type of pin band system. And basically, you just take it up. I can let's see if I got one. I do have one right here. So here's the hemp watch band, which I use for wire straps. You can use these for anything. So basically, what you do is you take this part up underneath the head of the watch. You take this around your wrist, and it's adjustable to just about any size that you want to make it. If you got a big old wrist, make it that big. If you got a little tiny wrist, you can make it that big. So they're adjustable. And then again, this Velcro piece just goes up and underneath the head, and easy peasy. So if you've got a watch that has a pin system watch band, you can make any watch. You can put a hemp watch band on any watch. So there you have it. If you're looking for that, one way or another. So yeah, I'm trying to. I realized I didn't put my stuff on silent. So there we go. So there you have it. So there's a new thing that's like a 6-course journey into India's regional cuisines. It's at a restaurant in Mumbai. If you happen to be in Mumbai and you know about Slink and Bardell, and this 6-course journey starts with this particular drink, and it's called a Pahadi Firdas cocktail, and it's actually rimmed with hemp seed dust, which I think is interesting. I'm not sure, I feel like that would maybe just give it a little bit of a nutty flavor, and so I'm not sure what that's about, but I have noticed more and more that the Indians in India traditionally hemp seed is used in certain regions of India and in certain foods. They're really starting to grasp the whole hemp seed industry for food more in India, which again they need to do. I was talking about this last week or weeks ago, because they have so many people. It's great nutritional value to the people of India. They should be putting hemp in almost all their foods to help with those nutritional values that hemp has. So if you happen to be in Mumbai, stop by Slink and Bardo and try out this drink that has hemp dust around the rim. Good stuff. So in 2023, São Paulo, Brazil, which is Brazil's most populous state, made CBD medicine accessible and free of charge to everyone. And apparently, this was the work of the Brazilian mothers, and they've been fighting this fight for almost 10 years to have access to CBD for their children. And so now, and I think you have access to the CBD in most of Brazil, but in this particular state, Sao Paulo, once again the most populous state in Brazil, not only have they made it out there for people to use, but it's free through them. So I think that is brilliant. I think that parents or people that need CBD, just like any pharmaceuticals, to be honest with you, free makes more sense. Free makes more sense. A couple weeks ago, a month ago or so, I mentioned that Panda Biotech is opening up their facility down in Texas, Wichita Falls, Texas. Here's a picture of their machinery. There you go. With a couple bales of hemp. I'm assuming that once the hemp goes in the stalk, and when it comes out like this, and then that gets shipped to the fiber, the material, the weavers, to make the material out of it. But this is a huge piece of machinery, and once again, tweaked to the 22nd century, 21st century, and I forget now how many tons of hemp they can process in an hour, but it's a lot. And so we need to be growing more so we can keep this machinery going, get as much hemp fiber out into the world as we can, for whatever purpose. But that is Panda Tech, Panda Biotech's hemp processing machinery there. Pretty cool, pretty neat, actually. Just opened up and it's going to start processing, and is processing apparently hemp, one way or another. This is pretty neat. Volkswagen has partnered with Revoltech GmbH to make faux leather, and I think I sent a picture of yeah, there it is. They're making faux leather for its vehicles, which will become an option not until 2028, but will be an option in 2028. So they're not going to. They're growing a lot of hemp in Texas. A lot of hemp getting grown in Texas. Absolutely.
Nice.
Yes, they are. Now, to trace that, that's mostly CBD still. But they are obviously starting to grow. And again, that CBD that's getting grown there's no reason why you can't take those hemp stalks to Panda Biotech and they can process your fiber and your herd. You cut the CBD flower off the top and then you process the rest of it. And so, I think this is a big movement to make it available to process the stalk and the fiber and the herd, the shiv, and so it doesn't get wasted at the end of the year. But yes, Texas is growing quite a bunch of hemp. But once again, most of it's probably CBD. But we're seeing that boosted. We're starting to see more and more fiber and grain as far as that goes. So that's pretty cool, one way or another. Now, this is a 100% bio-based, can be recycled or composted at the end of its life. I love this. The material is called Lover, and it's LOVR, which stands for leather-free, oil-free, vegan, residue-based. And this is actually made, what they're going to use in Germany, Volkswagen, they're actually going to use hemp left over from the food industry. So once again, go ahead, you cut that grain off the top in the flour, take that grain, you make the food out of it, you still have that whole stalk that's biomass. So they're going to take that stalk and make it into faux leather material. And again, we're starting to see more and more of the waste. And again, if you're growing for the flour, you still got that stalk. We're seeing more and more of that waste not being wasted. In fact, more and more companies are looking for that waste because they realize that there's all kinds of byproducts out there that we can make from that waste, as they call it. So it's pretty neat that Volkswagen's doing that. And of course, Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, all of these are German companies that have been using hemp. And, maybe it's just a hemp composite sunroof piece, or, BMW using hemp composite door panels to reduce the weight of their electric vehicles. But hemp has been working its way, or has been in German vehicles for 20 years plus. So here's just yet another German vehicle that it's going to utilize industrial hemp in a great way. I mean, faux leather. Once again, if we can make faux leather out of hemp that people can't tell the difference on whether it's real leather or not, all the cows that don't have to be killed for their leather. It's just reducing that demand, therefore reducing that supply. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing for the planet, 100%, and it's a good thing for the cows. So there's a house in London. This is pretty neat. It's getting renovated, and they did once again they did all the walls. Pretty sure I shot it. Yeah, there it is. They redid all the walls with basically hemp insulation. So they kept the frame, the original frame, as you can see with the wood frame, and then layered in that hempcrete for insulation. And again, this is a renovation program, which I'm really like to see. If we can avoid using concrete in renovation programs, then more hempcrete can be used, and it's once again, it's just better for the planet. No one has to care. We just stop dredging for sand, and then go from there, one way or another. But it's pretty cool. Renovations being done, and they did the whole house where they needed to. They did the whole house with the hemp insulation. Okay, well, I suppose this is actually about the only bad news I have. We'll end it with this. Missouri is still getting sued, is going to get sued for their ban on intoxicating cannabinoids. Missouri's having some really weird cannabis stuff go on, honestly. They're just like, and this all kind of stems out, which I find interesting, kind of stems out of the fact that a company in Missouri got caught using industrial hemp THC in the medical marijuana or recreational marijuana products, because guess what? It's the exact same THC. Once it's gotten to its isolate or its distillate form, it's the exact same thing. And this kind of drew attention to the fact that we can produce a exact similar product from industrial hemp than we can from what they call marijuana, other than flower. We cannot have high THC flower because then it wouldn't be industrial hemp anymore. But we can have that low THC flower and then extract that THC and put that in anything that we want. So they have, apparently Missouri is trying to ban intoxicating cannabinoids, all kinds of stuff going up there. And once again, they're going to get sued, and we'll see where that goes one way or another. Not a whole lot of events going on. Tomorrow, if you're in Minnesota, the Lower Sioux will be hosting a field day and celebrate the opening of their industrial hemp campus. September 12th is Cornell University's Grain and Fiber Hemp Field Day at the Cornell Agritech in Geneva, New York. I do have a question that I want to answer. I saw this question online somewhere, and I thought it is a very good question, actually. And the question is, can seized marijuana be used for hempcrete? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. But technically, in the United States, it would still be a marijuana product. So, yeah, if you took that, if you say you had a bunch of seized marijuana, so if you just cut the flower heads off, disposed of those, that whole stock could be used for the fiber, the herd, hempcrete material, whatever you want it to. But technically, by law, and this is how the law stands, and this has actually been the judgment on hemp and marijuana for 20 plus years now. This all stemmed out of the lawsuit, the Hemp Industry Association suing the DEA for saying that we had to put 0% THC. and we won. And so the hemp food industry stayed alive in the United States, and this is the turn of the century. And but one of the judgments one of the rulings that the judge made that actually created the hemp source code goes like this: if it comes from hemp, it's hemp. If it comes from marijuana, it's marijuana. So, technically by law, if we were to build a house out of herd made from marijuana stalk, it would technically be a marijuana product. Okay, you can never prove that unless you admitted it. But as the law stands, okay, hemp has to be from a hemp plant, with the most important part being that 0.3% or less THC. That's what hemp is. And so if it comes from that, this is how we were getting CBD years before we were growing for CBD or really had access to growing CBD in the United States. We were getting it from China because China was extracting it from industrial hemp, therefore making it an industrial hemp byproduct. And that's how the first CBD was hitting the shelves, because by definition, that was a hemp product, and so therefore legal under that HIA versus DEA ruling, one way or another. So can it be used? Can seized marijuana be used to make hempcrete? Yes, it can. And again, what we would have to do there is clear the channels of the people that were seizing it through law enforcement to actually get that approved to be used, because that cannabis is still on the controlled substance list. Even if the flower's gone and the THC is all gone and there's no THC in the stalk, and again, and this is what I say, and I think this should be the law to begin with, is you look at the end product sometimes. So like, if you're building a concrete wall, there's no THC in that, it should be legal regardless of whether it's made from marijuana plants or hemp plants. Same with a pair of jeans. If you take some marijuana plant fiber from the plant, has no THC in it, and you make a pair of jeans out of it, there's no THC in those jeans, and so therefore it should just be a legal byproduct. But if you actually, conceivably speaking, you put on that tag, these jeans were made from the waste of the marijuana industry, technically that would make those jeans not legal under the current laws of cannabis in the United States. So we're trying to get a movement going that would now break. And again, this was the changes that the new farm bill need to make, not making it harder on farmers, but making it easier on farmers. That being said, if you're growing for grain or fiber, the THC content should not matter. It should be excluded. As long as you can prove, say you're growing a 1% THC, say you're growing a 5% THC plant, but you're only using the fiber and the herd, the stalk part of it. I feel like all you have to do there is just verify that you're actually destroying the seed or the flower heads. And again, for the most part, if you let them go to seed, they're practically worthless to begin with in the marijuana market. And so, and I believe technically, once again, there's no THC in the seed. So therefore, you should be able to honestly use the seeds of a marijuana product to make hemp food. Because again, that seed doesn't have THC in it, and should not be an issue. Well, if they're cleaned properly on the outside, the only place the THC can be in a hemp seed or a cannabis seed is on the outside. So if the seeds are clean, which is an extreme shaking, basically, is how they do it to get all debris and everything out. Then there's no THC on those seeds, and that's where we should go from there. Honestly, it should be excluded, and that's why I believe that the product should be judged by its end result, not how it came out of the field. There are so many things that we can make out of high THC cannabis that would have no THC in them and would be great for the planet and humans. Still the strongest natural fiber, one way or another. Still build a house out of it if you want to. And so you can still eat the seeds, and there's no THC in the seeds. There's none. There's never been any scientific evidence that shows there's any THC in the seeds. So, all right, there you have it. Thanks, everybody, for watching this week's High Noon Hemp Show. Remember, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having Hemptations.
See you all next week.